Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast, episode number 103. Now, tonight's special guest is Camyrn Carreon. She's coming off of her victory out at TPC San Antonio at the NCAA Women's Regional here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, she's going to talk to us about what she's looking forward to out at Greyhawk at the Women's NCAA Championships. Also, I'd like to thank my sponsor, presenting sponsor, FOREBROS Golf Tour. Never golf alone again. If you don't have a home, FOREBROS has a home for you. We got all types of crazy games. We got king of the par threes, skins, net, gross. We take none of your fees. All the money you put in, you have every opportunity to win it. Please check us out, FOREBROS Tour, never golf alone again. Also, warning, explicit content may be on here. It does not reflect the reviews of our guests, of our sponsors. Listen at your own discretion. Now let's go ahead and bring Camryn on. Camryn, thank you so much for being on the show. I so appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I love catching up.
Man, you know what? It's been a busy time for you lately.
It has, for sure. I'm go at this these last few weeks, for sure.
And it's been great, man. It's been great to watch you, and I've been really thankful that the regional that you were part of was here in your hometown.
I know, lucky, right? I didn't have to take a flight somewhere else like last year and the years before, all the years before.
Now, how comforting was that, or how different was that for you? Because y'all are normally, playing away. I mean, everything for the most part has been away for y'all.
It felt pretty nice. So after a conference, we were just waiting to see if I got in. We were doing the math for a few weeks. Actually, on my last hole, after I finished putting out, I asked my assistant coach, Coach MJ. She was standing on the edge of the green with me, and I was like, "So you think I'm going to get into regionals?" And she was like, "I was adding up the people last night, and it looks like you might, but we're going to have to wait." And I was like, "Okay."
How tough was that? How tough was that? And that was one of my questions on here. Like, you jumped the gun. I'm just letting you know you jumped the gun on my questions. All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But I really want to know, how much nerves and, what is going through your mind as you were playing that waiting game?
When I was waiting, we just kept practicing. Coach said, Coach Summer was like, you're in. If you're not in, I'm surprised. So we're just going to practice like we know that we're in and we're going, and we'll just go from there. And then she actually asked me, so do you want to have a watch party or something? And I was like, no, absolutely not. Do not, because I don't even think I'm for sure going to get in, and I'm just worried about it. So I'm not doing it.
Now that has to be tough. And I guess you're wondering maybe you have some inside scoop as to where you're going to go in regionals, or were y'all kind of thinking that you were going to be home? You were going to be here at the SA regional.
So we knew that I would stay home. I didn't know for sure if I was going to be home if the team made it. I know that we were hosting, so I never knew for sure. But when we were playing that waiting game, I found out from my coaches. I asked them what the deal was going to be, and they said that I would for sure be at home since we're hosting this year.
And that has to be great. I mean, that's just it was awesome. A lot of people, you had the whispers, you had the rumors out there saying, "Oh, I mean, she better do well. It's just her home course." Yeah. And you know what? But as I was following you and thank the Lord, I'm over here moving my classes around, my lunch around to take my lunch just to go see you for a few holes, right? And man, those pin placements, they were tight. Tough. They were tight. There were some tough holes out there.
They were tough for sure. They the pin placements were hard, especially. Well, they weren't hard. You had to miss in the right spots. That's a better answer. But after the VTO, when we were practicing on the golf course, the pin placements were like extra hard, but they didn't want to put them in the pin placements they were going to put them for the regional. So they just try to keep the greens as slick and nice as possible. So honestly, I just didn't know what to expect at all.
You were rolling the rock so well. Gosh, it seemed like that first day. Okay, look, I'm going to be honest. NothingisOB, right? So I'm going to be honest. It didn't look like you had your best stuff on the first day. But you were just – I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But damn, no. You were just – your short game, you were getting yourself out of trouble, all day.
So the short game was the good stuff because it was that was what I played for. I knew if the wind picked up, which it always does at TPC every time we play it, that it was going to be hard for everyone. So I just knew that if I missed it in the right spots, 'cause I never put myself, if I did miss the green, which I did a lot on the front nine, which was my back nine, that if I put it in the right spots, I'd be fine. But it got really windy, so it was hard to hold on the green for sure. And a lot of people saw that. So I think the reason, you know, I wouldn't say, yeah, it wasn't my best stuff, but it definitely was better because my average on the Oaks is like 4 over. Yeah, and we qualify out there. So it was pretty good. And I just knew that if I kept it together, I honestly thought -1 was a pretty good way to start the tournament because as long as it keeps you in the mix, I didn't even know what place I was at -1. I never even looked. I just heard people like, oh, good round, whatever. But I never really looked because, I mean, it was the first day. You can't win it or lose it in the first day. But I know that for sure, if I kept myself in the mix, something around par, that we'd be in a good spot.
It was awesome to watch you, and I think you were playing with you had some really tough competition around you, and there was some stacked teams out there.
There was some players. I mean, everyone, right? Everyone in the regional, people advancing are going to be good, but they're all players out there for sure.
Now, why don't you kind of take us through maybe some of the most memorable moments you had at round one? You ended up shooting a 71 -1. You kind of, I think I came in at the tail end. You lipped in, you lipped out for that would have been, I guess, par, right? On 15, I think. 15. On 15, I think you were kind of, that was like
on the chip.
Yeah.
Yep. Round one, I started on hole 10, so I played the back nine first. And it wasn't as windy on the front on the back nine in the beginning of the day. I started off, I was a little excited and I pulled my first drive, but I knew that with the tees we were playing, I was far enough back those trees wouldn't come into play. I'd be fine. I just put it up on the middle of the green out of the rough. I'll be fine. And I put it in the bunker, and I was like, oh man, I didn't expect myself to do that, but I think I was just really pumped. I was amped up, excited, and I just that's what it was. I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. I hit that really good, so I'm not going to overthink it. And I was just praying that I had a good lie in the bunker. And I told myself, if I have a good lie, up and down, good lie, up and down, good lie. Just telling myself the whole way up there because I want to see I want to see where the shot ended up already, but I'm not going to run up there. So I'm trying to like calm myself down. All my friends, family, all these people UTSA are here, and even people I didn't even know were there. So I was like, hey, you're gonna calm down, because I was excited that so many people were there. And so I found my ball, great lie, still a tough shot, super high lip. I was like, you couldn't even see me underneath. And
we can rarely see you. I mean, you had several bunker shots that we could just see like the tip of your head.
Right. Maybe that's just because I'm short. Maybe it wasn't because the bunkers were tall. So I got it out. I looked closer. I thought it was like 4 feet. I got up there. It was like 8 or 9 feet. I'm not sure. And I was like, okay, I've never had this putt before. I don't know which way it breaks. I'm over here. I feel dumb taking out my book, my strack line, trying to read putts, because people expect you to like know because you play the.
But you look cool though. Like you look like a real pro. Like, I mean, you look. I was like, damn. Hey, she knows the cameras are on her.
No, I really just didn't know which way the putts were gonna go. So I was like, that doesn't help because it looks the complete opposite. Because you can't always trust them either. You just gotta go with your gut. So, I made up and down there. I rolled. I just aimed center of the cup. Hopefully it stayed straight, and we'll go on from there. And it rolled in. I think that was a key. That was a key moment, like a tone setting moment of the day. And then after that green, I told Coach, I was like, I just needed that first hole to be over with. I'm ready to go. And she started laughing. We go into the next holes. I think I just had a few pars.
Take us through 8 to 18, right? You're number 9, 18, and I'm walking with your dad, right? And your dad's like, why did she not hit driver? Why is she playing this layup hole? And that was a good thing, walking with your dad. Your dad's over here taking me like the play-by-play.
Yeah.
And he's over here like, man, and then you hit in the water, like your second shot, you hit in the water, and I'm just like this. Oh my gosh. I said, you know what? Maybe I'm bad luck. I'm just gonna leave right now.
So on that hole, I hit iron off the tee. We never play those tees. It's from the red tees. We play further back, and it's a completely different hole. It's a blind first shot. If you're hitting it straight, to where you can see it. You're in the trees. So I hit a 5-iron off the tee, put it in play, and then I laid up and I told myself I just need to shoot a number to clear that water. Didn't clear the water. I just hit it like crap. I don't know what happened. I was like, okay. Like, I was just so like not disappointed, but I was just confused. I was like, damn, I didn't even hit that ball bad. Like something went wrong. The wind picked up. It wasn't my fault. I was like, it's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
So I took the drop, and my coach was trying to talk me back into, walk a little bit further back for a flat lie. And I was like, no, I want to be as close as I can because that's just, I should have, but I mean, it worked out. I had like 108 in, downwind. So I knew it wasn't going to stick it close, but I was being greedy and I landed it like right at the pin or right before the pin. And it released to like 18 feet, and I walked in that putt. I don't know if you saw me.
That was awesome. Like
it was insane.
That was awesome, and that's how I knew. That's how I knew that you had some great things that were to come. With this week. And like I said, you were. I mean, I think it was hole 4 on day 2. I think the par 3. Like, man, you were like you didn't have it on the right tier. Like you were at the bottom, right? Because the flag is up high at the high tier, right?
Yep.
And you were like I think you were like. I don't know how many feet you had, but I was just like, it's a testy. Like
I had like 45 feet. I had to step them off, so I remember. I had like 45 feet.
And you were on that bottom tier, and you had to get it over that hump, and it broke a little bit right. And I was just like, and you had to tap in it, and I was just, man, that's how I just knew, like, you were playing tight on the holes, where you just had a par was a great score, and then you were taking your chances at the holes that you could go for the pin.
For sure, yeah. I actually had that putt. I was on the wrong side of the tier 2 times. I was on the wrong side the third day too, and I was like, why can't I just hit it straight on this hole? But it worked out.
It was good though. It was good. I was walking with your parents and family members and friends, and so they were all giving me their thoughts and everything. Your mom was just like, man, your mom and dad are just like so cool. Like, man, I'm over here like I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't have no skin in the game, and I'm like, man, they're just walking and they're just cool. And I mean, man, like it's just like nothing to them, And I'm just
that's
like,
awesome.
I was just like, God, like they put me at ease, right? Because I'm over here like a nervous wreck, hoping you do well.
Right. That's what they were telling me, that my teammates, and I appreciate it, and everyone was like nervous about it. They were just about me. Oh, that's a tough shot coming up, or And my dad was like, he honestly just kind of walks away. He's not being rude or means to, but he doesn't want to talk about it. Or some people will come up to him and say, it's happened before. They're like, oh, she's this many under. Or I hadn't even won a tournament, that specific tournament before. And I was like in the lead, and someone came up to him and was like, hey, it was awesome seeing your daughter play her tournament. Or it was a good tournament for your daughter. And he was like, we have like 6 holes left. Can we stop talking about it? And same thing with my mom. She doesn't want to jinx anything.
And that's good though. Hey, I guess it worked out, right? I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me. I know the last time we spoke, you were just coming back from the USAM, right? Mm-hmm. US amateur tournament, and having your dad was on the bag for you at that tournament, and now you had Coach Summer all to yourself, for all 3 rounds. Normally, she spreads herself out when it's your team events. How was that, and how was that helpful? Just having her like all to yourself.
It was nice. I really liked it. I think we click well on the golf course, but you're right. When we're in tournaments, I actually think I see a little bit more of MJ, our assistant coach, when it's all the whole 5, of course. But I knew we had spent ever since conference together, individual practices, so I could keep practicing because I was still in season. I am in season still. So we got permission, and we never had to take a break. So it was just awesome. And we spent every day together at practice, just talking about the next tournament, about literally every single little thing in my golf game. And then everything besides golf too. So it was fun just to keep carrying it on. And I didn't have to say, hey, yeah, I'll see you in 2 holes. And then she actually asked me, she was like, what do you want? And I was like, I want you to be with me the whole time. Like that's all you can do. Right. And she was like, yeah, I just wanted to hear you say it because I wanted to make sure. And I was like, yeah, don't let up. Let's do it. Like I said, let's do it. Let's do it together. So
one thing I noticed, and I think it was another, I think maybe the scorer or maybe somebody that was in your group the first day. And I don't know, tell me this, like he said, he mentioned something about you. He said, yeah, I don't know. I think she's in her head and she's playing really slow. That's what somebody said. Right. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. You know what? I don't know the process, whatever, right? Hey, I'm a hat golfer, so everyone says I play slow anyways, right? So, I'm watching you day one, and then
Okay.
honestly, it seems like on day 2 and 3, you had a better tempo, like you had a better rhythm, and maybe it did have something to do with your nerves or something. And it
Hmm.
seems like, I'm not gonna say you were playing faster, but it seems like you had better.
Pep in my step.
Yeah, you did.
Hmm. I felt that. Now thinking back about it, like I never thought about it in the moment or anything. I think, well, I felt good about the first round. Even after the fact, I was like, all right, I set the tone. We're good. If we can do that somewhere around there in the next few days, like I'm happy. Let's just keep it going. But now thinking back, I think if I was a little slow, it might have been just because I needed to, so like on the first tee. I don't know if people are listening that saw me on the first tee, or on just tricky shots. I don't take long like getting my numbers, all that, but like I have to breathe because I'm shaking. I'm not gonna lie, on the first tee. I mean, it's exciting to me, but it isn't. I don't really get nervous until right before I'm about to hit. So I have to tee it up. I come behind it and I spend a few seconds, like 3-4 seconds, which is kind of a long time, I think. Not even over the ball, like behind it, and I just have to look at my line and then like, and it's like not even a full, like a good breath. It's like shaky, but I just have to slow down because I think if I were to not take that extra second, then I think I will, like, I just have to be super comfortable. So I think the first day, yeah, I was pretty uncomfortable, but also I had a lot of more, I might have been a little bit slower because, I wasn't hitting any greens on the back nine or on the front nine. I had like so many up and downs. My up and down percentage is good. I got a lot of practice this week or that first day. But yeah, it was a tough day with the wind. I did not want to take any chances in rushing a shot.
And I'm always curious too, right? So I'm kind of, I'm walking along the cart path, and I see y'all walking along, and I say, you know what? I'm going to ask Cam. When I get Cam on the show, I'm going to ask her, what are some of the things y'all girls, you and your opponents talk about when y'all are going from like green to the tee box? Like, because I
Oh,
see
the
y'all.
opponents? The
Yeah,
opponents?
yeah.
If I've never played with them before, then, well, I mean, this is a different circumstance because we're with our coaches. So you're kind of just talking to them the whole time. But if it's girls, then we're talking about like, well, if we don't know each other, then we're just asking like, hey, what year are you? It's always a good question. Are you taking your 5th year? Because that's always a good question too. Everyone's interested, and then I'll say, yeah, I'm taking my 5th year. I'm excited for it, and they're like, yeah, UTSA, and I'm like, yes, because it's a real thing. People move so much.
Okay, you know what? I'm okay. I'm glad you brought that up because that was something I had. I didn't have it in the questions here. I had a little star over here, right?
Okay,
I got on my notes. I got on my notes here,
I
and I'm
love
just
it.
like, I got on my notes. Okay, so that's something I'm really curious about because you see these girls have like really good success at, let's say, a smaller program, because UTSA again is virtually,
Mhm.
especially the women's golf program, or just UTSA
Mhm.
athletics as a whole, is a very young
Yeah.
program, right?
Hmm.
But on the rise. I mean, like, we are clearly on the rise.
Hmm.
And has that thought even crossed your mind potentially to transfer out to, say, a bigger program that to get you? I mean, you're already going to be on the biggest stage. I mean, you're already on the
Exactly.
biggest stage, but like to go to, let's say, an OK State, a Stanford, or somebody that's looking for that 4th or 5th grill. Has that thought even crossed your mind about transferring?
So when I won my tournament this semester, I was I mean, I think it crosses everyone's mind, but I instantly turn it down because I mean, first, like, I'm gonna just be completely honest because nothing is OB. Um, my freshman year, I struggled a lot, and I didn't even leave my city. So I wrote, like, of course, everyone thinks about it, so I wouldn't lie about that. But it's just pure facts. The pros and cons list is like it's just unbeatable of the pros that I am here because I've made it to the biggest stage in college golf. This is my second time, which is gets me the chills even think. I surprised myself um thinking about it. But yeah, and I struggled my freshman year. So I know that I'm a completely different person now. I'm 4 years older, but or I'll be 5 years older next spring or next fall. But it doesn't seem worth it to me to transfer and then try to adjust to a whole nother city, a whole nother team, a whole nother coach. I just have it. I just have the life here. Like I'm living the life. I'm on a scholarship that I'm extremely grateful for. I have my swing coach, I have my dad and my mom, my family. Like, and I get to live. I actually get the college experience. That's really like a really big important part for me too, is because I don't have to live home, but I can go home whenever I want. The pros are just unbeatable. So yes, to answer your question, it crossed my mind, but instantly I was like, no, I literally probably started crying when I even thought about it, because I was like, no, I get homesick when we're away for 4 days to a tournament.
Hey, okay, now that's bad. All right, come on. You said it yourself. You're like 4 years older. You can't be homesick anymore, right? You
I'm
can't
a baby. I don't know.
No, maybe it's just that you just get babied. Maybe that's what it is, right?
Maybe, but it's working, so I don't care.
Okay, and this is what I hear, and like all my buddies, all my golf buddies, because like you are a fan favorite, right? Of like all my boys, of all my FOREBROS, NothingisOB, and they're like Andy, you need to have Cam on your show every other week. And I said, you know what? No, I was like, because then y'all get tired of it. You get tired,
right? Exactly.
And so, being at the biggest stage 2 years in a row, what are some of the things that you are looking forward to? And I mean, and that maybe that you're looking forward to, or maybe that you're more prepared for this time around?
I'm excited that it's going to be at the same place for sure. And I want payback. I'm going to get some payback from Greyhawk for sure. But I think last year, the first round, I had like a 1 p.m. something, or like almost 2 o'clock tee time, if I remember correctly. And coach said, just sleep in, let me know when you're awake, and just text me whenever. And I woke up at like 7 or 8, and that's really early for me. So I texted her and I was like, I just can't sleep. Like, I can't lay here anymore. So we walked around outside. I was pretty nervous. I'd never even said it. I told her, I was like, my heart is just going this morning, and I just can't get it to calm down. And she was like, and that's okay. We had a good talk outside the hotel, just enjoying the view of Scottsdale. It's beautiful. And we were just trying to embrace it. And so of course I've never been like, I didn't realize how big the tournament was until I got there before the practice round day, just to walk the course. And I saw the television stands for the cameras, and I was like, holy crap, this is insane. Like, this is like, it looked really cool, but I was like, wow, I never even knew this existed, because we hadn't made it that far. So I this year, this time around, what I'm hoping and what I'm looking forward to is just being more relaxed and being, just knowing I belong here. This is my stage and I deserve it. And my mom and my dad tell me that all the time, that I deserve it. And they always complete it with saying, oh, I know that you think that we have to say that because we're your parents, but you truly should believe it. And I'm starting to believe it.
Well, and I think you should believe it. I mean, your play is doing it all. And like I said, I gave you crap about your little video at San Pedro today, right? I'm over here texting you like, hey, don't be doing all these videos. And you're supposed to be on this podcast and you were late. You were late getting on. And
I thought it was tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Right. And so, you know what? You were talking about doing this for a living, and it's getting close. I mean, like you stated, you have one more year of eligibility that you're exercising. And you know what? You're having a lot of success, especially these past 2 years. And how was that? You've had that individually. How was it dealing with not having so much success as a team this year? Because this is the first time that, since, I mean, obviously COVID, nobody went, but this was the first time that y'all had not qualified in, I think, like 5-6 years of not making the tournament, of not making the regionals as a team.
Yeah, I mean, the girls are awesome. I mean, it's just crazy because I love them so much that I just want them to do so well. I mean, of course, everyone wants their teammates to do well. It's because that's how you excel and your team goes farther. But it's just, it's COVID. We kept girls for 5th years, of course, and then it was somehow eventually going to happen where we had to have 3 freshmen. And like I said, I struggled as a freshman, so it's no one's fault. It's just all of our games have to be coming together at the right time. And, my game doesn't come together at the right times. How is everyone going to do that? It's just really hard. So, it's just, it's just growing. It's an experience game for sure. I'm a senior, and I feel like that's why I'm taking my 5th year. I need more experience in order to be professional and like excel in my sport. So I think it's just all experience, and they haven't had much of it. So, and half of our team is freshmen, so it'll come together at the right time. And I'm thinking it's going to be a big year for our freshmen next year. I don't want them to have any expectations or of that, but like, because expectations are, you don't want to expect to play super good, but I think that they're gonna, like, I deeply feel like they're gonna have a great year because they're just such good girls and they're really hard workers.
And I think that's one thing that where a lot of the girls, because I mean, I had no choice. I mean, because some of these girls are tall, right? So I'm behind them. I'm like, excuse me, can you get out of the way? I'm trying to watch the tournament, right? And it seems like they wanted you to do so well. And I think sometimes when you're at this level in golf, like sports like golf, tennis, you have these individual sports. A lot of times, you want yourself, or you have to want yourself to do so well that you have to kind of put your success maybe before others. But these girls wanted it so bad for you.
Oh my God, I got the chills when you said that, because I genuinely felt that, when golf is so individual, and so it's a fight when you're out there, but they really know how to separate from when we're qualifying and when we're on the golf course playing against each other to when I was out there. I truly, like, deeply felt the love of them. And not that I ever don't feel it, but I just felt like so much support. And then them texting me after the rounds, and then Olivia had to leave in the last day during the round back to England.
Yeah. I saw her like running back. I gotta go. I don't want to miss my plane.
Yeah, she had to go to Austin, and it just felt like so. And she texted me after the round, like each and every one of them. Genuinely, I felt like they really wanted me to do well, and that felt so good. I know everyone coming to watch wanted me to do well. People were more nervous than I was, or like more excited than I was, because I didn't want to get overhyped. But it was awesome, and I'm super grateful for it, because not a lot of girls have that. Some squads are. I've heard of some other teams. It's a fight all the time, and that's not always fun.
Well, I mean, it was great. It was really great. I was talking to I talked to several people in the code compliance, right, that were out there. Like, you can tell they left the school and they went out there. They were in their polo and their slacks and everything. And everybody had nothing but like great things to say about you. And I said, no. There's got to be some dirt on this girl. There's got to be something. She can't be this squeaky clean. Like advisors, academic advisors can't be out here cutting class, taking time off to, that Cam is this awesome. But you know what? It was a great feeling, man. It was a great feeling because you had so many people pushing for you, especially being a great player, through junior golf when you started, all the way up through high school, being here, being a hometown girl. And you had a lot of players, even the other coaches. And it was great to see Coach Wonderkey out there, and you see the guys coach and you see the guys players. Like, man, like you had everybody really like rooting for you.
It was an unreal experience. I did an Instagram post, and I was like, I can't wait one more day to do this Instagram post, because I wanted to thank every single person. And it's impossible because there was like so many people that like I didn't even expect to be out there. And I just truly felt like, okay, this isn't just, obviously everyone's out there for me, right? But I told myself, like, this isn't just about me anymore. Like, I was throwing up the bird, not the middle finger bird, this bird, the entire time, and I loved it. So I just really wanted to represent, like, I'm from the 210, so I'm all about the 210, but it's like UTSA and everything, and it just felt like I just want to make them proud, which I know everyone says they're so proud of me, but I just truly wanted to just show it.
And that's great, because what you're doing too is you're really laying the groundwork for like the future Roadrunners and the future UTSA women's golfers, because it's like you've already taken, this is the second time that you're going to the NCAA championships, for women's golf. And you've taken this is the furthest anybody has ever gone from that sport. And then you win the San Antonio Regional. I mean, just like to win, to win.
I didn't even know that it was top one individual on a non-advancing team. I didn't even know that until after I won. And this person, because last year it was top two individuals and then 4 teams advanced. But this year, since they made 5 teams advance, they had to lessen the individuals. So I didn't even know that. I don't know how it would have played out if I did know that, but I also don't see the scoreboard when I'm playing, so I don't know. But I know that it was close at one point. That this person that took second from UCLA, she wasn't on an advancing team, so she could have gone. It was between me and her.
Yeah, no, your mom was the one that, like, because I'm over here thinking, I said, oh, okay, well, she should be good, and your mom was like, no, well, it's the same thing. She's like, no, it's the people that aren't going to be making the tournament that are going to be the ones advancing, and I'm over here like, hold on, that changes everything.
Everything, right? It was if I was seeing the scoreboard, I don't know how it would have played out, but I mean, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Well, I know one thing you told me about the last time you went after you had some disappointing rounds or the rounds not up to your standards, right? You talked about having the milkshakes out there, right? So I just want to know, you want to make sure that you have those milkshakes later on, right? Like not so early as you did, or.
Oh no, I'm having them as soon as I get there.
I thought they were just like to relieve some of the sorrows you had. But
no, they were actually. I think they just have them after every regular round, just to like because that's just their thing there, I guess. But no, I'm having them every day, and in celebration though, not in like relieving. Good round. Let's get a milkshake.
All right, so tell me, do you get to keep that big thing that says ticket punch?
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes, my dad. Not in my room. My dad has it in his room.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, that's badass. That's like a big check. That's like you win, like, hey, the $1,000 big check,
Right. I like to put it. I like to, like, whenever I'm in tournaments, no matter like what I get, if you make like top 20 or top 10 or however it may lay out, I always wonder, okay, if this were a pro tournament, how much money would I win? And just like dreaming. I was thinking, man, this was a highly ranked tournament. I wonder how much money I would have won, if this was actually for money.
Man, how great is that picture? How does that make you feel right there?
That's insane. I just can't believe that I've done it twice in a row. Like I've been laying in bed every night just thinking like, wow, this doesn't happen every day. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's ever happened. I'm sure it has. Correct me if we'll look it up. But this is just unreal. And I don't know how, funny story. When I look at this picture, what comes to mind is when I was whenever I was visiting UTSA, and Summer was when I was in high school, and she was trying to convince me to come here. She Coach Summer, she said we don't have a lot of history like made here, but I'm sure that you can make it. Let's make it together. And when we went to nationals for the first year last year, we're in the shuttle, getting just to Arizona, and I was like, hey, we're making history. And I reminded her of that story, and we both got the chills because I don't know, like this doesn't happen. So I'm just like super grateful. I'm just trying to embrace it. Like this is a story I can tell like for years to come, like forever. So.
Well, you're right. I mean, you have made history, and I mean, no matter what, you are going down as the first, and hopefully not the last for the UTSA Women's Golf Program. And that's got to be weird because you know what? Like y'all don't have any tournaments at TPC San Antonio. Like you don't, right? Like
no, it's not a women's course. Usually, just like the men's team has had tournaments out there on the Oaks. They'll have another big one next year. I heard that the winner of that will get an exemption into the Texas Valero Open. So that's cool, but it's really not played as a women's course. Like there's never really any women tournaments out there. More on the canyons than there would be ever on the Oaks. But it's a mean course. So that's why I was like, when I heard that it was on the Oaks, I was like, that's cool, but let's get there first. Let's see if we even get in first.
Man, and you know what? And it wasn't even perfect conditions either. Like, gosh, like there was a lot going on. And I remember, I think it was hole 15. I think on round 2. I saw you put it in the bunker on your drive, and then you were still able to like get it from the bunker to like the lip or like the fringe, like on your shot. And I'm over here like,
you're like, wait,
like damn, that's like a good shot.
First day on that hole, I went left, downwind, super hard. I made bogey. That was the one that I almost chipped in.
That was a good bogey. Everybody kept saying that. Oh, she made a good bogey, and I'm over here like, what do you mean? I just make bogeys all the time, like
Yeah,
like,
no, I
calls
almost
my
lost my
good.
ball. Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm happy with bogey if it's from a crappy spot where like where I was. And it was this dumb decision off the tee. I was feeling really good, and I was like, I'm gonna put this down there and be in a wedge into 15, which is like never the case on 15. And so the second day, I made sure not to go left and I went right. And my mom was like, "Where did she go?" And my friend Danny on the team, she was like, "I'm so proud of her. She went in the bunker on the right." And my mom was like, how are you proud? But Danny knows that that's just a tough hole. It's a tough look for lefty and righty, but I feel like my whole view is left. So, and then you don't want to go right. So I put it in the bunker, and me and coach talked about it. Pin was all the way in the back, and she said, "What can you get out of here?" And I was like, "I can get a 7-iron out of here," and the lip's like right in front of me. And she was like, "For sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not gonna hit it. I'm gonna play something like super easy that I know for sure."
Give yourself a little more loft. I was like, yeah, because you're right, and that's one of the ones where you could almost see like half of you because of how deep the bunker was.
Exactly. So our plan was just to put it in the front, stay out of the bunkers, and our short game was feeling good that day. So I was like, I'm fine. And then bogey on this hole is totally fine. This is one of the holes that was like one of the hardest in the way it was playing out to be. So I put it in the front of the green. I think I had 13 plus. So I walked down my putts like halfway, and I paced it at 13 paces halfway. So that was 26 times 3. What is that? 26 times 3.
Hey, why do you do? Why are you doing this right now?
I don't know. I'm terrible at numbers, but 26 times 3, that was the amount.
Well, it's 78. It's 78. I think.
Okay.
78.
I had 78 feet, and I put it to like 4 feet, and then I just made it for par. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm surprising myself with these long lag putts." You don't practice 78 footers,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that's one thing I noticed, is that you were like giving yourself like almost tap ins or very makeable second putts. And I noticed something too. Did you switch putters?
I did. During Christmas break, I switched to so I used an Adele for like 7 years, 8 years. And I contacted Adele, and they didn't make lefty putters at the time. And I was like, "No lefty, none, not even old ones." And they were like, "Nope." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna stick with this one I'm just gonna keep on putting with this." And then I went to go trout some new putters at this place near MK.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with this putter. It's Bettinardi.
The Bettinardi? Oh yeah, that's a good brand.
I was like blinking out. I was like, "That's bad."
Yeah.
And Coach Brian, we couldn't figure it out how to get me one, but I liked it. And and we contacted them. My coach Brian actually knew them. I had a good contact, and he sent me one. And I was like, "Thank you so much." Like, what? So super cool, super great to have Brian, and that just worked out perfectly. And I won the Trinity Forest Invitation, or the Dallas, you know what I mean?
I got you.
The SMU one.
Yeah, the SMU. Yeah, at Trinity Forest. Yeah,
at Trinity Forest, and that was insane. So I emailed them, let them know. They were like, "Keep us updated." I let them know about this one, sent them a picture, and they were like, "That is awesome. Keep us updated." So I'm gonna keep updating them.
Hey, yeah, you keep having to do that, right? You keep having to let people know that all the success you're having, right?
Yes.
Well, see, I was talking with Coach, right? I was talking with Coach. Man, such a nice guy, and you could just see the freaking pride that he had, like, for you. And he was just talking about, he goes, "Man, like, she is just such a hard worker. Like, she is such a hard worker." And he was just so happy for all the success you were having. And I was happy for him, because I know he's at River Hills now. And I said, "Good, now you're closer."
Exactly.
It's still a ways out, but I'm like, I said, that's good for him. It's good for him. And he was just, he was like a proud papa. He was just like, man, he's over there with his binoculars, his camera. He's over there, like, just being like a dork dad out there, just really soaking it up, and just so happy for you.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. He always texts me, calls me about it. Like, of course, I'm sure everyone keeps up, like him. And he told me that he was proud of me after every round, and just no pressure, nothing like that. And he just tries to give me a pep talk, and it always feels right. He just knows what to say, and it's just right. So I always trust him and what he has to say.
All right. So why don't you tell us about why not go pro? All right. And I'm upset, okay? Because
Why?
you gave Alex a hat. I don't have a hat.
Oh.
I saw people all over the place wearing your Cam Why Not Go Pro hats. And I said, shit, man, I don't even have one. I was like, this girl. And
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get
I've
you
been
one.
following this girl forever. And I was like, you know what? And I need one. I
So
need
you want to
one.
know the story about these hats that everyone has on right now?
Yeah.
They are testers. They're not even like the right color that we wanted. So my boss, Mr. Matt Jorgensen, the owner of Why Not Go Pro, he was like, just give them away and then have them subscribe to our YouTube. And I was like, sounds good. So I was just telling people, okay, subscribe, and then giving them a hat. So I'm gonna give you a hat. I swear. I promise. On my life.
All right. And also, so now that you know it, so if you don't know, if you haven't subscribed already, so make sure you go to Why Not Go Pro. Make sure you go to YouTube. Make sure you click on the subscribe button to see more of Camyrn Carreon. They got some crazy contests, crazy challenges, and you know what? Okay, so one of my good buddies has a apparel company in San Antonio. I mean, in Houston. His name's Mark Villagomez.
Okay.
It's called Oakberry Golf, right?
Oh,
Oakberry
I know
Golf.
that is. Yeah.
Okay, he gave me I have like a little quarter zip wind jacket for you, right? He goes, hey, give this to Cam. And I said, well, I don't know if it's going to get to her. I don't know when it's going to get to her, but I have it. And he's like, man, make sure you give it to her. He's like, you know what? He's a big fan of yours. And he goes, next time you have Cam on the show, you need to talk to her about this men versus women challenge and to see if, because I need to be able to do this because, you know, I'm not a far hitter, right? Well, what would you say to playing in a tournament or playing a challenge to where you had to play just like a hat golfer like myself, 11.3 handicap, that you would have to play from the men's tees and give somebody like myself the ability to hit from your tees?
I would say bring it. Let's go.
Well, I would say that if I were you too. I mean, if I were you too, yeah, I'd say that.
I would say bring it. I think it also depends on like the handicap of the course. We'll look at it. We'll get all the details ironed out. But I mean, so I remember like when my dad was playing a lot more, he can get into trouble really easily. Like any like normal golfer that doesn't practice as every day, you know. So I can see why I think that would be a kind of a pretty fair match. I would have a lot of long stuff in, and I don't normally have a lot of long stuff in, so it would be tough.
See, you know, and that's what I was telling him. I said, you know what? I said, dude, Cam, with Cam's game, like, she's not scared. I was like, if I had her game, I wouldn't be scared of shit either. But you know what? I don't have her game, so I'm just a scaredy cat as I'm out there on the course. He goes, no, man, tell her. He goes, I think that would be really cool. And I said, man, that's a good idea. And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask her. And you saying bring it. Like, I'm not surprised like one damn bit at all.
Bring it. Let's make it happen.
So as you go in, as we kind of wrap up this podcast here, what is your really big takeaways, or what are some of the things, the goals that you have as you're going to the NCAA championship? Are you just kind of playing with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, but are you kind of just playing with like house money, or are you just kind of like happy-go-lucky?
Yeah. What? Yeah. My dad always reminds me of that. He always says whenever, you know, like it's literally exactly what you said, like house money. I mean, I wasn't supposed to be here. Like, you know, this is just out of just a few good rounds of golf, a good spring, and it just happened. And then regionals isn't the way it happened. It's just like falling in line, like, you know, like maybe it's just the way it was supposed to be. So I'm just trying to take it in, enjoy it, because a lot of people wish that they were in my shoes, just let alone to play college golf in general. But to go at the rate that it's going right now, it doesn't happen every day. So I just keep reminding myself that, you know, a lot of people would be lucky to be here. So don't be mad about a dumb bogey. You know, don't carry it on, because why? Because you're at Greyhawk and in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's the absolute most beautiful thing. So get over it, you know. Don't let anything bother me, because it's unreal, the experience that I'm having.
Now, are your parents going to be there?
Yes.
Oh, man, dude. Hey, you got a great support system, man. You do.
Last year, this is a quick story. Sorry. Well, actually, we talked about it this earlier this week, we were having dinner, me, my mom, my dad, and I was like, and I think this was before regionals. This was literally like the couple nights before regionals. I was like, huh, it'd be cool if I went to nationals again, huh? And they were like, it sure would be cool. And then I was like, what do you think was cooler, me going to nationals last year or the USAM last year? And or like what was cooler for y'all, rather, like y'all showing up to the AM, seeing the view of like, you know, the literally Chambers Bay all below us, or nationals? And my mom said the AM and my dad said nationals. And I was like, I kind of think it was nationals too, but doesn't mean I don't want to go back to the AM because I want to be there again this year.
All right. Okay. Now you brought up the AM, and we talked about this last time where, you know, you had some commentators kind of, you know, giving you the business, right? You know, kind of saying you got your ass handed to you, you know, and so
yeah.
And so would you say that, you know, you doubling up and doing this again was kind of like a, hey, take that, haters. This wasn't a fluke. Last year wasn't a fluke.
You know, I honestly don't even pay attention to the haters, honestly. I mean, yeah, in the moment it was like, really, dude, you know, whatever, people talking like that. But hey, I'm trying to live by this new thing because a lot of people talk. Everyone talks. But my new thing in my head is if people are talking about you, you're doing something right, whether it's good or bad, you know? So any press is good press.
I like that. Hey, that's a good word. That's what I live by too. And I always
Right?
say it. I always tell the kids at school. I always say it. I was like, Kobe Bryant. One of the quotes he said, "I always measure my success when I walk into an arena by how many people boo me."
Wow.
And I was just like, hold on, like, man, like people are probably booing me because I suck, but people are probably booing him because he's like the GOAT.
The best,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
the best, and they're haters. So,
what are your summer plans? Like, what plans do you have? What's on the calendar for your game and tournament wise this summer?
So, you know, I'm kind of in a dilemma right now, actually, because I'm definitely playing a lot. But when I get back, so the tournament, it's this next tournament, the Nationals, is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 19th, 20th, 21st. There's a cut, and I will be making that cut, not like last year. And I'll be there on Monday, the 22nd. Well, then we're traveling back the 23rd, and I'll land in San Antonio, but that's the same. Literally the 24th is the U.S. Open qualifier in Galveston. So I won't have a practice round. So, but then again, my dad mentioned, he was like, hey, fighters, you know, they're not focused on 2 fights from now. They're focused on this one. So we're going to see how we do here. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. We don't go. Or if you feel like, hey, I want to freaking play that qualifier, then we go cold. We play the first 18 really smart and the second, like, super safe. The second 18, we'll let it loose and we'll just go. And I was like, all right. And he said, so we're just going to play it by ear and we're just going to let it happen. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But we'll just go with the flow pretty much. We're not going to try to force anything either, because then that's when dumb stuff happens. And then what else? And then I'm looking at my schedule. It's after that, I have the Texas Women's Open. So that is, I don't know the exact dates, but I have the list. Texas Women's Open, I'll definitely play in that. And then definitely hope I get into the North and South. My ranking's like the best it's ever been. So hopefully that helps. And that's a big tournament to go to. So if it just depends, you know. And then like if I qualify for the USAM, which would be awesome, then I'll go to that. And then there's other events here, like in Texas, the Texas Women's Amateur. There's like the Southern, some other stuff too. And then I will be going to Q School in August. Duh, that's the most important thing. I don't know why I forgot about that.
Really? Wow.
Yes. So I'll go
where is that taking place?
In Florida somewhere. Let me see. It's in Florida. It's always played at the same place, but it's like a whole like 10-day thing. So August 28th through the 31st, and then before you get there, like 5 days before that, you can have like a bunch of practice rounds.
Wow! So you already have a full plate.
Yeah, for sure. And I have an internship.
But hey, damn! Hey, get it, girl, get it. But you know what? It sounds like you have an awesome mindset going into everything, and it seems like, you know what, you have, when I say your team, meaning, you know, hey, your coaches, you know what, you're not only your swing coaches, you know, Coach Summer, and your parents. It seems like you have a really great support system that is kind of guiding you and sending you in the right direction, and being, I'm now, hey, you're one of the eldermen now being, a leader and being, being that, the super senior, now it's like, hey, you should be making better choices, right?
I should be making the smart ones. I'm gonna try and do that for sure, because I do mess up sometimes, but I would really love to be a good role model for the other ones, because I really care about them.
Well, Cam, just want to let you know, we're also proud of you, and you know what, you're doing everything, going about it the right way. And I mean, my wife wanted me to tell you, because my wife's like she's like, hey, I'm going to bed, man. I'm out of here. And so she's like, hey, make sure you tell Cam, congratulate her for me.
Thank you so much.
And you know what, like, we are just so proud of you. And because I've been the one, like, updating everybody. And then I had some other people. I was like, man, Wednesday was a crazy day for me. I was like, I had a lot of shit going on at school and stuff. And I was like, I'm running around crazy. And then, I had some other guy post, your victory on there. And then everybody was chiming in. And so, you know what that means? I was like, man, it means like other people are like invested in like your success. And I'm just like, yes, like, good. I was like, man, should I be mad that he posted something? I'm like, no, I'm happy. I was like, good. Hey, thank you, bro. Good job.
Thanks for covering this one for me.
Yeah.
No, I feel so good that, like, I mean, it makes me feel so happy that I can just make my little fan base, like, I have a huge fan base here in San Antonio, and it's just growing every day. And I just really hope that I can just set a good example. And all I want to do is, if anyone ever has any questions about anything, I just want to answer you and do anything that I can to like help, because I receive so much support here that it's unreal. It's unreal. And I'm just so grateful for it.
Well, Cam, I'd appreciate if you just kind of stay on. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Thank you so much. Hey, make sure you check out Camyrn Carreon on Why Not Go Pro. Make sure you support her. She will be out there next week, right? Or the coming weeks, right?
Yep.
For the NCAA tournament, NCAA championships out there at Greyhawk in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's Camryn, Andy, NothingisOB. Have a good night.
Thank you.